Hi, guys. I am still waiting on Homestead Aquarius. I don't know where he is, and so hopefully he'll come along soon. Um, if not, we'll just talk garden talk, right? And I have me plugged back on. There we go. And so, allergies, very high and crazy right now. I'm sure everybody else is feeling it. So if I sound a little hoarse and have to clear my throat, that is why. I don't take any allergy medicine. There you are. I'll drop the link below. Let's see here. Oh, I emailed it to you, Homestead, but you know how that goes. Sometimes we don't check there. Okay. It is in the chat there. Hi, Trish. Good to see you. I'm excited about this. I haven't had a lot of time to prepare, but we will wing it. And I'm always curious about Robert. So, plus we want to ask all the shed ward questions. And not yet. I'm sure he'll be in the basement soon. So how's everybody doing? How you doing, Garden Warrior? Are you in Shed Wars? And Barry, how's all your cats doing? How's Black Paw or Blackfoot? What is it? I can't remember. So Homestead, there is the link for you in the chat. I don't know if you're going to look for the email, but it's also in the chat. Just for you, my man. I thought that my carrot seeds, I was watering this morning. There he is. And I thought my carrot seeds didn't germinate, but they did. So I'm excited.
I am here. Hello, Laura.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming.
I'm fine. Thank you for having me up here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So how are things going?
Things are morning. They're morning around here. It's drinking mass amounts of coffee to get hydrated. Yeah.
Yep. Here's your coffee. You made me promise. Here it is.
Right. I got to have my coffee. I was trying to put my makeup on, and there was an uncaffeinated state, so I looked kind of a mess, right?
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe you were shaving and you cut yourself or something, and couldn't get it to stop bleeding or something serious like that. I was praying for you.
I don't shave a lot.
Okay. So you're all a natural then.
I do try, yes. Yeah, just weddings and funerals and
okay.
Other sad events, right?
For sure. Hi, Anne. How you doing? So I wanted to have you up because I wanted to ask you a lot of questions because I know that, and I don't want to go into detail of this, but I just want to. There's been some a little uproar around Homestead, around Shed Wars lately, and I want to bring light to it in a good way. So I wanted to ask you why you started it and what is your passion behind it. So let's start there and move on.
Oh, wow. Uproar. And
well,
I had no idea that there was any kind of uproar.
Yeah.
Controversy or things. Never heard that.
Me either.
Oh, me. Well, this is our 6th year of Shed Wars.
Mm-hmm.
and it's been a learning experience. It's something that um, just kind of naturally came up, um, and it wasn't my idea.
Okay.
It was the initial seed of Shed Wars, and what it became. You know, the small thing that it was at first was a simple gardening competition between two men. And then
Okay.
we decided to add teams to it. And it was only supposed to be for 1 year, one season,
Yeah.
and then one and done, and that would be it. We would do no more. But John, Will It Grow, and I did not want it to stop. Um, there were many, many people
Oh, sorry.
and many other people that wanted to join in the next season that we hadn't even spoken of
Mm-hmm.
at that point. So John and I pressed on and didn't let it stop and kept it going. Um, and each year there are more people that ask if they can join.
Yeah.
Um, the purpose behind Shed Wars. Hold on. Gotta get that caffeine. Um, the purpose of Shed Wars is to, well, there's many things, but it's to come together as a community and, you know, teach people how to grow food again and have fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It also has the effects of it being a YouTube gardening and homesteading collaboration. Um,
Yes.
when people take part in a bigger community than themselves, um, and then find new friends, learn new things. Um, uh, as far as my passion for this and such things, my passion is to find a common ground between people all across the planet, and regardless of their race, their country, their religion, any of that kind of stuff, and focus on the common ground of us being all humans on this earth and growing food again, just as our ancestors had, helping ourselves, helping one another. This is my passion for Shed Wars, but not only that, my own channel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is the kind of thing that drives me. We face difficult times right now in so many ways, and one of the things with Shed Wars is we wanted to have people of all walks of life, um, inspiring other people. Like we've got Gardening Warrior Q there. She is an apartment gardener, and we want her and other people to show other folks that live in apartments that, hey, maybe I can grow at least some of my own food.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to show an example of that. No matter where you are, an apartment, maybe, you share a house with somebody. Maybe it's a little suburban area. Maybe you've got a large farm, um, or you're sharecropping with somebody. Somebody else has got the land, but not the ability to work it. Um, Whatever the examples are, it's very important that we all on our channels, whether they're in Shed Wars or not, put out a positive, encouraging word to people that they can grow something.
Yes.
Um,
So
That's
how does that work? Go ahead.
oh, that's really the spirit behind Shed Wars. Plus the
Mm-hmm.
fun, people having fun, joking with each other, something different than just the stodgy, uh, um, kind of dry, just all the time stuff that we see many times. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So you guys have two teams, right? Am I understanding that right?
that's right.
Okay.
We've got John's team, Will It Grow, and my team, Homestead Aquarius.
And have
And
you started already?
yes, we actually started the 2024 season back in the fall of last
Oh,
year.
oh, okay.
We run Shed Wars on the Earth's clock
Oh,
from fall equinox in the northern hemisphere to spring equinox in the northern hemisphere.
okay.
Because we're a global competition. People from all over the planet have joined us in the years past. UK, Australia, Tasmania, India, Africa, um, many places. And so everybody's on a different growing schedule. So we have to find a way to design that to where it's not only based on North America's growing season,
Right.
because it's a global competition. Um, so
Right. So
right
we're using
now seems to be the kickoff. A lot of people think because this is in North America where most of our members are,
right.
and think of it as springtime as being the kickoff. But really, this is, it's already been going on. I just got an email of a pretty big weigh-in already from one of our members from last year that one of our veterans that's already piled up hundreds of pounds of
Oh,
weight
wow.
during the winter. It's not just gardening. It's gardening, raising animals, fishing, foraging, hunting, whatever you can do to
Too bad I
bring
didn't
in your
start
own
in
food.
fall. We harvested 3 deer this fall. So,
Boom!
yeah.
That's 3 deer. That's
Hmm.
that's a good freezer full right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're doing pigs soon and chickens and all of that stuff. So, um, we do it all. We get it off the land and what we grow here. So that's our plan, anyways.
Hey, you got a good plan, and you got a
Yeah.
good place there. Uh,
Yeah.
Lots of room, and it'd be nice to grow your own bacon.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. For sure. We're looking for pigs right now. We have a line on some. Um, so what are the rules around the challenge?
Okay, hold on a second.
Welcome in Rickershire and Anne and Our New Land. Good to see you guys.
Need to pop an anxiety pill and take another sip here. You mentioned a cuss word to me. Oh
Oh,
my gosh. Rules. Okay. The rules are they're very simple. We try we try to okay, here's the thing. Anytime that you play a game, right? You play a game, there's rules.
yes.
Anyone from the age of like 5 years old on up, you know, understands that if you're playing a game,
Yes.
there are rules. Chutes and Ladders has rules.
Yes.
Candyland has rules. Monopoly has rules that will destroy your family. Okay.
Hmm.
But if you don't have rules, it's not really a game, right? So Shed Wars is a global competition, a global game, like a football game or anything else. You
Yes.
must have rules for that. If Shed Wars was a simple collaboration of, hey, let's grow tomatoes together, it was like, okay, there's only one rule, use the hashtag, whatever, and we all grow tomatoes, right? But Shed Wars it has so many facets, so many different things. We have had to have rules for it, for these things that come up, all kinds of stuff. But the rules for Shed Wars is really common sense stuff. It's um, really, there's only one. The rest of it is just stuff that we, tell you, that it needs to be. I don't know. I mean, people, it's rules. It's not rules, whatever. But people get hung up. We've been heavily criticized for rules. And again, it's not just a simple collaboration. It's a game,
Yes.
and, so people have criticized us for having rules and not wanting to follow them. And it's like, okay, well, and they're very simple. You don't have to play, right? We can find someone else to sit at your spot in the Monopoly board, or Chutes and Ladders or whatever. But, and for us, for John and I, the rules are a real pain in the butt, always have been, because we're trying to make it perfect for everyone, and it just can't.
Right.
And then the ones that have criticized us and started their own things, guess what? They had their own rules, and they were created from everything that we did and the distilled down version of our rules, letting us do the work, criticizing us for what we're doing, and then copying what we did. Okay, so that's life. That's the way humans are. You got that. So with Shed Wars, let's say someone wanted to join us. It's very simple. We ask that you use a couple of hashtags. One of them is the hashtag Shed Wars, one word, no spaces. And the hashtag Shed Wars, you can use that, anywhere in your like your first few hashtags, and that's fine. That helps tie everything that we've done together over the 6 years, and it helps your videos be found.
Yeah.
The other hashtag that needs to be used is hashtag Shed Wars 24W for Team Will It Grow, or hashtag Shed Wars 24A for Team Aquarius.
Okay.
That keeps up with this year's in-game videos so that we can find each other and support each other. And that's really the only two hashtags. It allows people to have fun, meet many new people, take part in a community that's much bigger than themselves and has a track record of lots of activity. That hashtag is pretty powerful. And we want to keep it simple. We ask that the Shed Wars 24 Shed Wars 24, I don't know, may have to relook about that, but your first three hashtags on the video are very important. And we don't want to have people tying up those first three hashtags unnecessarily. Those are the ones that, at least the last time I heard, is what YouTube uses to really push out your video. So I think we ask for hashtag Shed Wars to be in the first three, because it's the most important. It could be your third one, I think is what we said. It's a little foggy in here. And then hashtag Shed Wars 24W. It only is good for one season, 1 year.
Yeah.
But without it, it's hard to keep up with people and what they're doing.
Right.
Hard to be found.
Right.
The only other real rule that we've had last year was you must grow a annual vegetable in a container.
Okay.
That's the only real rule that we had last year. Most of the things that we do are so common sense, it's like okay, I'm going to make potato salad, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to make my potato salad and then I'm going to weigh it.
Yeah.
No. Because potato salad is not just potatoes. It's potatoes, mayonnaise, and all this other stuff that you bought or made or whatever and put together, and you're going to have a weight for it. No. You just weigh the potatoes. You weigh the whole food as it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Weigh your potatoes. If you butcher or if you're going to weigh up a pig, don't weigh the whole pig, girl. Only weigh.
It's the dressed weight, right?
Huh?
The dressed weight.
Yes, ma'am. The dressed weight. Dressed weight, whatever you're going to eat, and it's just that simple, you dress the animal out, whatever you're going to eat, weigh that, it's okay if it's got bones. A pork chop's got bones. That's the way you buy it at the store, however you would normally buy it and use it and cook it in real life, that's what you would weigh. It's real simple stuff. But through the years, people have come up with the most outlandish situations, and it's like, okay, well, we need a rule, and so over the years, these rules, because of that, became bigger and bigger, and it's just a nightmare for us. And but we try to be fair,
Right.
So anyhow, we're gonna get away from as much of, these are the rules, because it's so simple, and if we do have people that come up with some outlandish thing, it's like, come on, knock it off, just see what we're doing. Done.
So when they grow carrots, do they weigh the top of the carrots?
Well, and see, that's a nuance, it's
because some people eat the tops and some people don't, and
the whole thing is edible. So if you want to weigh the carrot, weigh the whole thing, and then it's real simple. And you've got to have scales. You do need to have accurate scales. That could be another rule that doesn't need to be a rule, but because we do require you to accurately, honestly record your food.
Yes.
We have had people in the past, sadly, that have cheated and have lied about what they were doing because they're just going to be that kind of person and they want to be the star. They want to be special.
Yeah.
And become Shed Wars famous and everything. And we had one that recorded, actually, she didn't even record it as she went along, but she reported a weight of grown food from a tiny little garden area of modest sized garden area of like 10,000, 12,000 pounds almost.
Wow.
That's what was reported to me. And I'm like, there's no way. Okay.
Yeah.
We got to trim this down some because this is not possible. I mean, reported that she shared 1,000 pounds of food. Reported that she grew 1,000 pounds of green beans from just a handful of green bean plants.
Okay.
That doesn't happen,
No.
right? So we have had some unfortunate things like that, and
Yeah.
uh,
But that's kind of human nature. You're always gonna find that one person
that's right.
who, you know, might cheat.
It's always something. It's always something like that, you know.
Right.
But most folks are doing the right thing. Um, that the person in question would just, I saw on video, I'm trying to figure out how much she actually could have grown. And one of her videos where she was weighing something, she just walked past a basket full of tomatoes and lifted the side of it and said, that's about 40 pounds. No, I think that's probably 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then lifted both sides of it with both hands. Oh my God, this is probably 60 pounds of tomatoes. So it's that kind of thing. So have scales, have scales and use scales. Write down your weights in a notebook. Very simple. If you harvest a bunch of tomatoes, weigh them up, write the number down. It's simple stuff. It's Sunday school behavior and elementary level stuff. It's real simple. Let's grow food, weigh it up, be honest about everything, have fun. The people that we really look for and appreciate the most are the ones that give back to community, or they pay it forward. As I like to say, give twice, take once.
Yeah.
Those are the people when John and I see their comments in throughout on community videos, I really like that, right? They show up for other people in the community.
Yes.
And then other people come to see them, So we really look at and appreciate the folks that are out there for community.
Right.
That's what makes it stronger. That's what makes each one stronger. So Shed Wars has been many things, and we've tried our best to do many good things with Shed Wars, and we have. Our efforts have been noble and worthy. A side effect of Shed Wars, what we call the Shed Wars effect, is that each channel that's been with us has grown. Some of those channels have grown in a huge way, but everybody that's with us and surrounding us always seems to grow and do well, but that's no guarantee. But everybody's benefited in some way.
Right.
Sadly, even the people that have hurt us in the past, but that's life.
Right.
Shed Wars maketh it rain on the good and the evil, right?
So when I've heard about Shed Wars in the past, I've never been a member, need to be, but there's probably can't get in there this year, so I'll have to do it next year. Is just good things. I've only heard good things from people that have shared it with me, about how you guys support each other, how you support, like members will share, growing ideas and what you should do to grow your onions well, or your, green beans well, or just what to do with all of that. And I think a lot of people can benefit from that because, and I didn't become a member not because I didn't believe in what you guys were doing, is that it was a confidence level for me. I didn't think I had anything to give. So, you know, so I've only heard good things. So on, so you guys have challenges like meats, anything that you're growing, animals. Is there anything else like, um, do you allow like, okay, I'm creating food for my animals. Can you weigh that and put that
Well,
into
and
weight too?
see, that's one of the things where we used to have a rule, right?
Yeah.
It's no, we don't. You don't weigh fodder. Anything that you're going to feed to your animals is feed for your animals, not for you. You weigh the pig, not the pumpkins that you fed the pig.
Right. Okay.
If
So
you're
only
going to
things.
eat it, you weigh it.
Yeah.
Uh, if your animals are going to eat it, you don't weigh it. We've had people asking that question a lot, and
Yeah.
that's where it's like it's a rule, and again, people, if you've got people that we've had some demented, you know, people trying to hurt us, and so naturally, and they have friends, and so the friends of the people that's trying to hurt us are going to be doing things like that. They're going to be like, their attitude is going to be one of general nature of, oh, y'all've got these rules and it's just so terrible. Well, that's because it's a game.
It's because it has to be fair to some degree, and
That's
to the
right.
small one and the little one.
Hmm.
Now,
And see, when we started it, it was only gardening. It was only annual vegetable gardening.
yeah.
That was the first year. After that, we started adapting it, um, and changing things up so that we could help our members do more things and it
Hmm.
be an official Shed Wars video. But many people like yourself raising animals. And it was like, no, 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 we don't allow animals. It's like, why not? That's what people are doing to grow food, right? So
Right.
we added that. We
Hmm.
added the ability to, you know, it's like because it's all about self sufficiency, um, you know, and that's gardening in many different ways. It's
Hmm.
aquaponics, it's in ground, it's container gardening, it's picking up your butt nuggets from your chickens. Um, it's weighing the chickens themselves and getting them ready to eat. It's cows.
Yeah.
It's all these things. So the rules, as they have been through the years and been criticized, all come from needs and wants and wishes of our community.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that, and you get into a damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know,
Right. Right.
so this is the process that we've gone through and the experience that we have gone through by trying to help everyone and ironing out all of these things to build a more perfect beast, right?
Hmm.
And sometimes we will add something, in the past we've like added a rule or changed a rule midstream
Hmm.
because we allow ourselves to do that every 6 months because something may come up that needs to be addressed and say, okay, we're going to change this and it's going to be at the 6 months time. And
Right.
then any other changes will be in the thing going forward. And, it's always one of those things where you just can't please everybody.
Right.
And some people are not going to be happy no matter what. They're going to bitch, they're going to gripe. And then others have been incredible. Others have been regular, humble human beings that understand things. They don't have to have it all about themselves. They don't have an agenda, from some other person, and they're just good people, you know.
Right.
and those have been like jewels for us, and we really appreciate these people. You know, it's all about what kind of human you are, right? We've given many people a chance,
Mm-hmm.
and it's up to them. You know, we want everybody to have fun, and we do
Right.
it. You know, it's not a money making thing. John and I pay to do this. You know, um, comes out of our pocket.
Yeah.
Um, Whatever we do, I've spent, you know, at this point, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on things for Shed Wars, and John as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, we never ask for any money. You know, it's not a money making thing. Um, it's just something to have fun and to help everyone grow.
Right.
Um, help them grow their their food, help them grow their channel, um, whatever it is, you know, in a nice organic way. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's all. That's what we do. Um,
So speaking about organic, so most of the people that grow on your channel, they can grow organically, they can grow regularly. What are there's no rules around that, right?
no,
It's,
no rules. It's
yeah.
what, however you want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, the battle between organic and, you know, man made, you know, amendments or whatever, or poisons, all of that. Those battles are handled in many ways on many channels. We don't care about that. We just want people to show how they grow food and what they do, and inspire others to do it. And you know, it's a really big thing. We've had people. The success stories are the people that are out there that say, "Well, I want to grow something, but I don't think I can do it." You know,
Right.
and then they see someone in an apartment growing food, right? They see somebody, they see an example of someone that
Yeah.
looks like them, right? And then there's similar situations. And, you know, we just want to be that kind of positive force. That's
Yeah.
all. That's what we want to do. That's what we've been doing from the very beginning, um, with a real emphasis on self sufficiency, you know, and whatever we can do to help one another. Um, I don't know. I You get me talking about Shed Wars, and
Yep.
it
Yep.
can go a long ways.
I'll be right back. Somebody is knocking on my door for some reason. So I'll be right
Okay,
back. Of
I'll
course, they know
entertain
I'm
it.
here because they can see through the window.
Who's that knocking on my door? Let's see, who is it? Who's it going to be? Is it, all right, y'all put down your thing. Is it, put down your vote. Is it post office? Is it the mailman? Is it UPS? Or is it Land Shark? What do we got there? Or Amazon? Amazon. Go ahead and put your guess down here in the chat. Whoever's right will win $1,000,000 Shed Wars bucks that don't exist, but it's just for fun. Who's there? Is it a neighbor wanting to borrow a cup of sugar? Could be. Maybe she said Amazon. I don't know. Oh, y'all hear that? That is the sound of me not talking so much and my cheeks getting a rest over here. Oh,
Right back.
ooh. I wonder where you need to get if she got Amazon. Okay, we got Wickershire points. Okay, yeah, yeah. Why don't I do that? Whoever wins any guess on this gets non-redeemable Wickershire points. Oh, Shire points. That'll be good too. What you get? What you get from Amazon? Oh, an electric. She got an electric immersion blender, right? She's going to make smoothies and mashed potatoes like nobody's business over there. What? Let me see. Hold on, Trish. If we cannot be part of the shed wars as far as growing, what can we do to help them who do participate? Well, we can offer people to sponsor things. You know, we've had sponsors in the past. This year, we've had some unavoidable delays, and I'm the main cause of those delays due to you know, some health and medical situations that I've got hitting me about the head and neck right now. So I've kind of been busy with all of that. And normally we'd be talking about sponsorships and things like that. But yes, we can, you know, just get with me, you know, and we can do something. We don't have anything that we formalized this year so far. We haven't reached out to anyone or, you know, made a call for any kind of sponsorships or anything. But anyone that wants to be a part of Shed Wars, we can help. We get you in there somewhere, but anyone can grow some food. And
Yes.
Here's the thing: we've had people say, "Well, I can't grow much food because I've only got like a little porch here and containers," but that's okay. We have people that grew not even a pound of herbs, and to me, the lady that grew less than a pound of herbs on her tiny porch, where there's very little sunlight, is just as much a triumph and an accomplishment as someone that's brought in 1,000 pounds of food.
Right.
You know, it's about helping, encouraging people to do what they can and to be inspired.
Yes.
We've got John and I were just talking last night about a brand new challenge. We've got something coming up soon. Got a few things coming up. We want to have fun. This world, we've got so many things going on that are so negative on all of us in our lives.
Yes.
So much bad news left and right. We want to have fun. We want to help people to remember that they are human beings that have their own will and have their own say in what they do.
Right.
That they can grow their own food. You know, that there's something that they can do.
Yes.
Or you can wait around for the bugs and the worms, you know, to be upon your sandwich.
Yes.
You know, I'm not all about that. I'd rather, I want to eat my bugs and worms after they've been added to the live weight of a chicken. Okay.
Yeah.
The dressed out weight of a chicken.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
So exactly. And that's wonderful. I mean, some of the challenges that we're seeing lately, like in Oregon, where they're monitoring, taking away the ability to water your crops and things like that, for small farmers and people that are growing in their backyards, or even if they have a well, they're putting on, something to monitor how much they're actually taking water, how much water they're using. And so it's very important, these challenges, because it encourages people to grow, And so I've noticed that you guys invite everybody at every level to grow. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Even if you could be someone that only has a bedroom to their name or a
Mm-hmm.
car. We had one man one year that was growing herbs in his van that he lived in.
Nice.
It's about having fun and
Yes.
being human and taking part in something that's bigger than you. Um,
Yes.
you know, it's not about, for me, it's not about um, the oh, I grew the most food, I did this and that. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
not. It's about the team effort. It's about the fun. Um, People that are all about themselves and only thinking of themselves. Look at me. We don't want that. Just stay away. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
want people that, you know, want to give first to the community and take. We want somebody that can have a 1,000-acre property and millions of dollars and be just as equal as someone's grandmother growing food on their front porch. Everyone's equal in shed wars, and
Amen.
we,
Mm-hmm.
we have had people in the past join us that were big channels, and some of them, like we have one channel, and this lady is so sweet. She's got a big channel, and she was so incredibly humble, normal, wonderful human being, and she did not think of herself as anything special, right? And she fit right in. She was wonderful.
That's
And then
awesome.
we've had other channels that were bigger, and it was all about them, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so you get to mix of people. It's like Walmart. You go and you've got the people that show up, you know,
Yeah.
all the spectrum of people, is what you have. And okay, I went off on a tangent there, deep like,
Yeah.
and
That's
might have been,
okay. Tangents are okay. So
it
you've
might
been
have
doing
been
this.
a point we were supposed to stick to, but you know, it's uh, each year it's a challenge, right?
Yes.
And there are those people. There are those people that want us to just dry up and blow away. And it has been a challenge to do this every year with all of that kind of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, to keep putting out good positive energy, to keep trying, to keep offering it up when you've got John and I are like a couple of old lions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're out there trying to do for our community and take care of people with a bunch of little hyenas and jackals and vultures that are trying to pick off what they can, right?
Right.
Um, and we're getting tired.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see, I mean, with some of the challenges you've had to face, um, why you'd be getting tired. Um, Now, what does the competition look like? Describe it. You've got two teams, and is there tiers under those teams? Is there main people? I've heard that there's people at different levels, and so they're graded. How does that work?
Uh, that's the first time I've heard that. We don't have any grading process,
Oh, okay.
not at
Maybe that
all.
works. Okay.
Everybody is equal.
Okay.
She had I got started laughing and
That's okay.
had to get rid of a frog or two. I need some more WD-40 for my mouth parts here. Hold on.
So there's no tiers. There's just
No,
you and
absolutely
John,
not.
and then
No,
the people underneath you.
no, there's no tiers.
Okay.
No tiers or any system of grading or ranking or anything.
Okay.
Now there, we do have our veterans that have been with us for the whole time,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You know, and now that matters. Okay. If someone is with us one season, let's say somebody joins brand new.
Yeah.
Now you've been around a little bit. You weren't able to take part in every year, but you join this year and start growing and everything, and you complete the year, you know, and you turn in your weight, and you haven't been a knucklehead. You haven't, you know, you're a member in good standing, as we say,
Mm-hmm.
right? You haven't caused us any problems. You know, you didn't lead, you didn't try to divide up our community, you know, and blow us up and, you know, take a bunch of people with you. You didn't do any of that. You're in good standing. When we when this season ends in the fall, at the fall, the autumnal equinox, uh, then when we start back up with Shed Wars 25 in the fall of this year, you can continue on, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can continue growing and weighing food and harvesting deer, you know, whatever you're doing all winter long in the new season. And then when springtime gets here in the Northern Hemisphere, you're walking in like somebody else that I know is going to walk in. That's you know, going to be showing like 1,000 pounds maybe,
Yeah.
something like that. You can continue on because you made it through the season and you competed, you turned in weight, and you're in good standing. And that's the only tiers that we have. You
Okay.
know, they get not preferential treatment. It's just the ability to keep using the hashtag, to keep doing things. You know, it's yeah, but there's absolutely no ranking. You know,
Okay.
and what people do that themselves, right? And they do
Yeah.
that if they're a good community member. Then, I mean, just for me, if somebody is good as a good person in the community and they're helping and they're humble and they're not a knucklehead, I'm going to naturally be there for that person, right?
Yes.
And others will too. It's just a natural human thing, you know.
Right.
People cause themselves their own problems. Um, I don't know.
They do.
You spoke about allergies before. I have
Yes.
my own I'm dealing with as everything is turning yellow in my part of the world. Hang on, I need to blow the nose.
Does anybody have any questions for Robert?
Okay, that's better. Yeah.
Hey, Aidenair.
Now, my email, if anyone wants to join, they can send me an email, but it's not the one that's listed on my page, I think. It's homesteadaqarius@gmail.com. homesteadaqarius@gmail.com.
Okay.
The one that's on my page doesn't count. There's something going on with that, and I need to get that fixed.
Because that's where I invited you, and it,
Yeah, I've probably got a stack of emails over there.
yeah.
You know, and it's something that I've got to I've got to fix because people
Mm-hmm.
keep sending emails over there.
Right.
But I'll tell people all the time, they hear my words, homesteadaqarius@gmail.com, and then I don't see an email. It's like, you didn't pay attention.
It's at email.com or at gmail.com?
Gmail, G
Okay.
as in goats. Gmail, Google, the Goog.
Okay. So we'll put that in the link below later on. Yeah.
This season, it's really we're gonna have as much fun as we can, and it's gonna be laid back. In years past, we have been more intense about things.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be have some laid back intensity.
Yes.
Well,
it sounds like it needs to happen. You need it.
I need some laid back intensity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I definitely do. But, each year it's one of those things where we have people, it's like, well, are y'all going to do it next year? It's like, okay, yeah, we're going to do it next year, because people want to continue. So we want to do that.
Have you ever thought of maybe kind of sharing the burden with others? Are you afraid that it will get away from you as far as what you guys have created?
Oh my. Well, I certainly have, right?
Mm-hmm.
I certainly have, and when you do that, when you do something like that, it definitely is one of those things where once you do it, it's done, and it could go anywhere,
Right. It's one of those predicaments where it could be more challenging even for the person.
Yeah, it can be a very, they say there's one thing, it's like whoever shows up to be in charge really doesn't need to be in charge because they're power hungry. And so we've had many people show up and say, "Oh, I want to do this. I want to be in charge. I want to, no.
Yeah.
No.
No, you want the people with the same heart you guys have for it,
John and I are kind of like reluctant, to these things. It's like we're in charge, but we know what it's about, and we know how much of a pain being in charge is, because like I said, this has been 6 years of trying to please everyone and trying to encourage everyone and having, I mean, just imagine if you are in charge of everybody playing their family games at the house, and it's like, well, Timmy and Susie is over there fighting all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you always be wary about whoever shows up wanting to be in charge, or a congressman or your governor or whatever,
Yes.
In the past, we have had other captains, and that immediately caused some issues. It had good parts about it, and then there was bad parts. They were in charge of their team, and they said, well, the way you guys are doing it is not the way I'm going to do it. I thought, what? Hold on, what? What? You're not going to, but this is Shed Wars, and this is our thing, and we've invited you, and we've given you a position, but you're telling us that you are not going to follow along with what we do. You're going to do your own thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't work, So the idea of, passing a torch, one day, I hope, I mean, if we continue on, for I'm sure we will.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be looking for someone that might want to take this over from us.
Right.
But we do want to be careful. And in fact, well, hold on. The very beginning of Shed Wars, we had the problems baked into what we were doing primarily because of one extreme problem child man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Caused an enormous amount of problems from the very beginning because of his personality. He wanted to be in charge.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted control. And we knew this man. It's like we had a choice: either make him mad then, or make him mad later.
Yeah.
Either way, he's going to be a problem. And from that initial situation with this man and another one, unfortunately, we've had problems ever since. And so
Mm.
and they have friends, and they have friends, and they have friends. It's kind of like you've got a river, and I
Yeah.
always liken it because time is like a river.
Mm-hmm.
It's changing where it flows, but and you imagine that further upstream is back in time, right?
Right.
At the very beginning, at the headwaters, and we're all floating down the river and having fun, and people are coming to the river at different times. And somebody's cow got in the river at the very beginning and died, and all of that goes down the river.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the same thing. We still have the effects of that going on,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll always, but the further we get downstream, the more it's diluted.
Right.
But it's just part of the challenge that John and I face, and honestly, everyone else, because if it takes away from our energy to even want to do Shed Wars and want to continue to put out that energy for people, to keep offering. But we do, and
Yeah.
we're gonna go, and we've got people that still want to have fun. We've got other people that want to join,
Right.
and we want to have fun with it. And it's the old saying, pardon my French, but don't let the assholes win, right?
Mm.
So that's what
Right.
we do. Um, we offer a place for people to have fun, and
Right.
something that is something I haven't mentioned, but it's never been done before.
Right.
We have got a global gardening and homesteading competition,
Right.
and
So let's talk about some of that fun, right?
yeah,
Because we've talked about the bad stuff. We don't
yeah.
need to focus on that. Um, who wins the most, you or John?
John.
John?
Oh yeah,
Why do you think he wins the most?
because he cheats.
Does he? So what kind of things do you like to grow when you're as a captain? Are you growing stuff as well? And what is your favorite things to grow, and what do you like to grow?
Well, I like to grow things that grow themselves.
Oh, okay.
I am big into permaculture, the
Mm-hmm.
ethics and the ways of permaculture. That is my true spirit, right?
Yeah.
I love that. So I love to walk out into my garden and pick mulberries off the tree. Blackberries. I like to pick strawberries. I like to go out and eat and graze like a bear, right? I like these things that are natural and reproduce after their own kind. I like that my strawberries will carpet my property, just given a little bit of room to run.
Yeah.
This is what I love, natural Garden of Eden, permaculture principles, um, making the most of every resource. As far as annual vegetables, I love to grow beans of all kinds, um, um, tomatoes, tomatoes for sauce and things like that. Fruit of any kind, berries, natural things. I like to grow my own garlic. Now, here's the thing about me. Okay, this is a weird thing. It's just as weird a thing as we've done as Shed Wars, just as unique, and that's me. Okay, I used to do a lot of gardening. In the recent years, I don't do a lot. I do more, helping my stuff grow. Right. I'm not a huge, oh my God, I can't wait to get all my squash in and my little babies and all of this, like all you crazy gardening nuts. Okay. I'm not. Y'all are real inspiring though. Oh my God. And I have done this kind of things. I like to do weird things, strange things. Grow food in different ways, like my aquaponic system that I had started up and everything. It's still there waiting for me, right?
Is that where the frog comes in?
Yeah, I love frogs. I love all my critters. That's another thing that's important to me. With permaculture principles and organic ways, natural gardening principles, my property becomes a refuge for nature of all kinds.
Yes.
And that is what I just love. I love my critters, whether they be frogs of all kinds, lizards, salamanders, birds, mice, snakes of all kinds, even the venomous ones, turtles, whatever it is, it's welcome here. Now, if it's a venomous snake, I will relocate that particular animal. I won't kill it. I'll relocate it, a little ways away and encourage it to, it's like, hey, don't be here, hold on. That coffee doesn't last long enough in the cup. But for me, it's all about nature. And, being someone that leaves a light footprint on this particular patch of dirt.
Yes.
That I have temporary ownership and control over, not to put poisons into the ground, to take care of my land, to help nature make my land better for me by respecting her, by respecting God and nature, and being a good steward of my land. That's my ethos and spirit. Besides gardening, I used to raise quail. I used to raise a lot of quail, and made pickled quail eggs and sold them. Looking at maybe getting some quail again at some point. I just don't want to have. I used to have so many irons in the fire. It was really draining, trying to take care of kids and do my job, plural. And then, I was running from can to can and then taking care of a bunch of quail. And I didn't have a lot, but I had like 160 or 180 at one point. you know.
That's a lot.
But it's really not. It is for some people, but
Right.
in the world of raising quail and chickens and stuff, it's really not that much. But you know, it was a lot for me. You know,
Yeah.
And sadly, you know, a lot of them are roosters. After you raise up a whole bunch of babies, you know, they're like your kids, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to harvest them. So eventually I did harvest a bunch of my roosters, but
Mhm.
most of them lived a nice long age and died of old age, you know.
Mhm.
And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how to keep quail alive and how to kill them, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not having setbacks, you're really not doing anything.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
so I learned a lot, and I learned
That
that,
goes with gardening too. Yeah.
yeah, it does. If you're not
Yeah.
killing plants, you're not doing anything, you
Right.
know. And I've sent many plants to heaven.
Mhm.
You know? As far as being some kind of master gardener, that is not me. Okay,
Mhm.
I am nowhere close to a master gardener. I consider myself a novice gardener, uh,
Mhm.
not an expert in anything like that. Um, I am a student of nature and what she does. Okay. And I like to help myself by helping nature. You
Yes.
know, one thing I love to do is be out in my garden. It's like one year I was sitting there looking at my tomatoes and peppers, everything, and I watched as the wasps go up and down. They're flying around like attack helicopters, and they're looking for caterpillars. They're
Mhm.
looking for prey.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Just watching those wasps do work for me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
because they'll attack, especially the hornworm. They'll
yeah,
sit on the hornworm and lay some beautiful eggs, and then you can feed that hornworm when it's half dead to the chickens.
exactly. And
Yep.
you know, so there's an old saying. It's like in nature, wherever there's a problem, well, there's a solution right
Mhm.
there too, and that happens many times. Many times, your solutions to problems are right there too.
Yeah.
If you look at things in a slightly different way,
Right.
and you're open to that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Permaculture is very much about a balanced ecosystem, right?
yes,
Right.
ma'am, it is.
Yes. Okay.
Um, it's like I have termites here, and I'm glad that I do. Right? I
Mhm.
have termites on my property beneath the soil, working on all of the wood that I had buried here. Right? Now, I
Mhm.
don't do that close to my wooden structures. That's important.
Yes.
But you know what you're trying to do is mimic nature. What does
Yes.
nature do? She wants to cover every bit of soil with trees, right?
Yeah.
Or some type of vegetation. Nature doesn't like to be naked.
No, does not.
Um, and so if you reproduce these things and do things like nature does, you're going to have that soil that is of legend, right? You
Mhm.
know, before we went to massive cultivation and erosion and pesticides and everything like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a we have we have 130 acres here, and 40 of it is cleared, and it's on top of the hill that's cleared. Well, what happened with that is when they cleared it, erosion happens because and you lose topsoil, you know, because there's
Mhm.
nothing other than broom sage holding it together, which doesn't hold it together very well. So now we're that erosion, because, the natural resources that held the soil on top of the hill are gone. So,
Yes.
yeah.
You
So,
can reclaim it though.
yes, that's what we're
Yeah.
working on.
Yeah. Nature provides the answers for it. Start, start building in some terraces. You can put logs going along the topographical lines to hold and maintain the water. What you want to do in that situation is slow down the water. That is the paramount with most permaculture natural gardening. You want to slow the water and help it to soak into your land.
Yes.
And now if you've got 40 acres cleared on top of a hill, that's a lot of reclaiming. But just off to the side, nature's offering you the free stuff to do it with.
Yeah.
The logs, trees that fall down,
And
branches.
we have plenty of trees that are down naturally from wind. So that's good advice. Thank you.
Yeah. Following the topographical lines, you can build in swales. You can do swales and start growing things along the swales and the berms that will grow and die back, and then add to your organic inputs back onto that what is likely bacteria ridden or bacteria dominated compacted soil.
Right.
It's lost all the fluff on top. It's down to just a simple dirt and no real active soil.
Yeah. We had planted a lot of grass, and that seems to be holding a lot. So that's helped out a lot.
There you go. Grass is good stuff. It's something that I hate. I hate grass. It has its place. For me, I want to destroy every bit of grass that I've got. But if it can be put to work, in the mulch, and it offers who doesn't love a nice yard,
Yeah. Well, we want it. We want it for eventually. We're gonna have cows.
Yeah, cows love grass.
Yeah, love grass. And so we also are going to be raising, when we get our pigs, we have areas where it's still a lot of broom sage, and we're going to be putting them to work on the fields as well, and laying that manure layer down, and kind of reclaiming some of the area, because what happens here is that it just all turns to blackberry. So
but that's good too.
Yeah.
Just got to train it, it's like, hey, all you wild bunch over here, okay, you're going to stay over here, right? If you get out of this, if you try to, we're going to cut you down, right?
Yeah.
Right along that edge, we want you to grow, and we want you to make us food, okay? But you don't come over here, we're going to mow your little heads down, okay?
Well, that's what we do. We do have areas where it's still okay to grow, and because I do want the blackberries. So
I feel you on that broom sage.
Yeah.
That is an invasive thing. If it's the same thing I'm talking about, it's I forget the scientific, name, the Latin name for it.
Yeah.
But we've called it cerisa, the broom sage. That stuff, it's a great tinder, because it's glass. It's equal parts of glass and oil, right? Ain't nobody wanting to eat that.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
even goats.
Not even goats. It's
goats.
It's glass and oil. But it'll make a heck of a fire starter. It's my go-to. It's my
Well,
go-to for timber.
we've had 3 fires on the property.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the worry about having it. If you have lightning, which Tennessee likes lightning,
Yeah, and Sugar's you're living in Sugarville,
it's
you know.
Sugarville and Tickville and yeah.
Mm-hmm. I used to live in Tennessee, and we raised all kinds of animals. Each part of my family, um, seemed to have their thing. One side of the family um, ran goats. We had goats of all kinds and so many of them, and every kind of barnyard fowl you can think of. We had everything but cows. One side of my family raised cows and had a garden. Everybody had a garden. But one side of my family raised lots of cows. One raised lots of goats. One of my step families raised lots of hogs, lots of Duroc hogs. In fact, they were that part of the family, that step family of mine. They the grandfather, the man that did everything. He is the number one in the world at that time for Duroc hogs, and I never knew it. He was like the top gun.
Oh wow!
Yeah, his piglets sold for hundreds or thousands. His boars traveled all across the country.
Wow!
And this humble old man, you never knew anything by the way he acted. Just common, ordinary hillbilly folks. So gardening and farming on large scale is something that I am used to. We had huge gardens, acres of potatoes and corn. And when it came time for harvesting of these things, it went to serve several families, and
Nice.
that was put away for the winter. The canning parties back then were enormous efforts.
Right.
Great stuff. I had
What we're trying to do here is that we had 160 acres. We sold 30 of it to my brother-in-law, and so they're moving in and starting their homestead. But we're probably going to raise animals together and share gardening and all of that good stuff. So that's what we plan to do too.
That's the best way. It's the best way if you've got land and you can have other people to help. It's that back and forth. It's the wonderful things, working together, and that's a wonderful thing. Somebody say, "Well, I want to give me some land. I'm going to work it," and a lot of people don't realize, if you're gonna do something, you're gonna do some gardening. You can really do a whole lot of work on 1 acre, much less expansive acres. Y'all got enough room there to do all kind of stuff. Do you have a pond yet? Do you have a pond?
Not yet. Need to get a pond.
Yeah. To get to the pond store and get you a nice pond.
Yeah.
What kind of water sources do y'all have on your land?
We do have a stream that goes through every once in a while. But we're going to do a rain catchment system for when we get cattle, because we don't have enough water for cattle right now. So
yeah, there you go. Water, where there's water, there's life. Get you, maybe y'all can find a wet weather spring there or something, that will help feed a pond, or, if you've got a well. I mean,
we have one on each side of our property, but it only runs like 4 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That can be captured and helped with. Um, uh, the everything that surrounds water. Okay, I'm an Aquarius, and although it's an air sign, it's still about, for me, I'm fascinated with water and all things about it,
Mm-hmm.
and its use, its capture, its use, its recycling, everything about water on property. Okay, and you can really go through some dry times with a um, good solid ideas for what to
Mm-hmm.
do with the rain that falls on your property.
Yeah.
Right, many ways to store it.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways is having that wood worked into your soil,
Mm-hmm.
acting like a sponge. Right, the water things are just fascinating to me. All right, anything about that is fascinating. Your ponds will help your cows and whatever.
Yeah.
You can grow things to eat in your pond. It's where there's water, there's life. Just simple
Yes.
as that.
Yeah. That was one of the first things we wanted to do here, but and then we were dealing with the erosion problem, and my husband works 14 hours a week, and so it's kind of like
14 hours a week.
yeah,
Well,
or
he
not a
needs to
week,
cut
so
back.
14 hours a day, 14 hours a day. So yeah, not a week. I wish it was a week.
Well, he definitely needs to cut back then. What you doing to
Yeah.
that boy?
Oh, I whip him into shape. We run our own business called Hedgehog's Hauling, and so he truck drives and he delivers logs and things. So
Okay.
Yeah. So we decided to, we weren't happy with working for other people. So we decided to work for ourselves.
Okay. So he drives a logging truck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does that mean that y'all are logging other people's property, or are you logging your property, or what exactly?
No, we're not logging our property. We have logged some of our old growth to thin out our forest.
Uh-huh.
And that paid for our truck.
Boom.
And yeah. And so that paid for our truck. And then now he works for Mennonite Company delivering the logs that they haul or they buy from.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me blow that nose again.
So
Okay. All of that is so gross. I hate blowing my nose. Oh. So one thing that almost makes me cry when I see it, I get it. I've done a lot of it. I've committed to sin. Okay. Is burning wood, right? It's like, oh, I can't wait to burn a bunch of wood. Let's have us a bonfire. What with the Mennonite logging operation? What do they do with all of their slash? All the limbs and stuff that do not equal out to be lumber or whatever they're using it for.
I have no idea. I know that the Amish people that logged our forest, the tops of the trees are still sitting in the forest. So.
Oh boy, that's good stuff, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Those treetops laying there and the. I know what. Hold on, you said that word. We got to work on this now. It's not a forest. It's out in the woods. Okay. Out in the woods, girl.
In the woods. Out in the woods.
There you go. Them treetops.
Yeah, they just let those things out in the woods,
Out in the woods.
Yeah, my husband wants to burn them, but I want to burn now. Okay, I don't know, Aquarius. What about char though for your garden?
Biochar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think it's a great thing. I think it is wonderful. The amount of pure surface area
Mm-hmm.
for beneficial bacteria to grow in
Mm-hmm.
and have a home and do wonderful things in your garden is
Yeah.
incredible. Biochar is amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, we need to burn some of that stuff for biochar.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to soak it in, I make a compost tea that is mostly duck water, what I call duck water.
Mm.
And duck water is the water that my ducks swim in and do everything else in. And I put that in my tea with my, you know, uh, greens that I want to get rid of, that I don't want to duplicate in my yard. Which isn't, or just something that needs to be cut back or, trimmed down or whatever. So
You
yeah,
duck water, right?
my duck water.
You duck water. You got little pools that you use?
I have a pool that they swim in, and I collect the water off the roof of the chicken house that falls into the duck water, so I don't have to fill it up with my hose.
There you
And
go.
so, yeah. And so I don't waste any of that water. That I do have a little trough that they drink out of, and that water doesn't get wasted. I clean that out and throw it into a bucket and then throw it into a IVC tote. And then that's what I fertilize my garden with mostly.
There you go. That's duck water. That's
Yeah.
powerful. And my neighbors used to have ducks, and they had a little kiddie pool for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the ducks, they're so messy. God, as soon as they fill that thing up and he lets the ducks go in there, within 30 seconds, they've done pooped in it.
Yep.
I mean, they're just like, oh, there's fresh, clean water. I can go to the bathroom now.
Yep.
That's their thing,
Yeah. And then
Oh,
they drink out of it too, and you're just like, or they take their food over to it and like, so that they can swallow their food.
they're so messy. Ducks are so messy, but they're so awesome at what they do. They fill an evolutionary or a biological niche. They're little monsters out there eating bugs and stuff.
Yeah.
And pooping and making lots of places muddy, but they're great to have, right?
Yeah, it's a great source of nitrogen, and I've been throwing it on my onions. And so we'll see how that goes. It's the first year that my onions have been this big so far. So we'll see.
Now, do you have now here? Do you know about willow trees and their use?
Mm-mm.
Okay, if you've got a place that if you're raising ducks and you've got a lot of water and stuff like that, maybe one time when you get your pond or whatever, you want willow trees in the area that your ducks, your chickens, or whatever, their manure is going to like be on the downhill side. Basically, you want a willow tree or trees.
I have a willow tree. I do.
Okay. They love all the nitrogen. They love it when the animals poop. A lot of trees, plants will die. They just soak it up. They're so incredibly good at that. That's why you see willow trees in all the city parks, where they've got ducks and pigeons and all that kind of stuff. Because the willow trees just thrives off of the nutrient. They soak it up.
So I should move my ducks over, or my chicken coop over to my willow tree.
You can, or you can go ahead and just start making new willow trees from your existing one.
Yeah.
I have made many of them. Willow trees is like the easiest tree to get started. they have a will to life like nothing else I've ever seen. And you can, plant you some willow trees that you just started wherever you need them.
Mm.
Mulberry trees are another good plant, another good tree to raise for your homestead.
Yeah.
You probably know that. You start growing some mulberry trees, and you have a natural food source that drops each year hundreds of pounds of food.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of pounds.
Yeah. Kind of like a cherry tree.
Cherry tree, yeah, anything
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people will have a mulberry tree right next to their chicken coop or whatever. It's just you're letting nature again provide food for you or your animals. You don't have to do nothing for it. It just
Right.
falls there, and the animals walk around, eat it, and get bigger.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when y'all selectively harvested your trees out for lumber, that's a wonderful thing. And then you can go back and plant more hardwoods. You can have one of the things that you could do on your 40 acres that's cleared off is to start a silvopasture system,
Mm-hmm.
where you start building a food forest of fruit trees growing on that hillside. You got to protect them from the cows or whatever. Let them get going, and you've got food growing all over there. It's dropping leaves. It's dropping food. Your cows are wandering around eating, and they're pretty happy.
Yeah. I have, we do have fruit trees on the property that we've planted. They're not very big, but
that's okay.
They're on the hillside.
Encourage. I like to encourage people to grow. Anything that's going to grow and reproduce after its own kind, help it grow. If you make too much food, all right, and give it away.
Yeah.
Help one another.
Food banks and stuff like that. Yeah. I'll be right back. That guy's back again. Any questions for Robert? Put in the side chat. He'll answer them, guys. Maybe.
There's something about the postman always ringing twice. I don't know what's going on here. Got somebody keeps showing up there. So, have I rambled enough? My cheeks are tired, right? I could talk about permaculture and gardening, and systems fascinate me. It's the way about the systems. What kind of systems you build in to your property to grow your food and to do things and live naturally. That's what I'm all about. Maybe this could be a nice moment of silence too. It's springtime for most everybody. Diva has probably got a little while before she can safely put things out. I've still got frost here. Last couple of nights as we've had a heavy frost. But those days are coming to an end. Right now is a great chance for people to put bury some sunchokes in their soil. Great time for anything you're growing from tubers is to put them in now, depending on where you are.
No.
So who was at your door? Is it Amazon?
No, it's this, we have a tank, a diesel tank out here, and he was putting on a new thing, and it didn't work, so he had to let me know it didn't work, and a new spigot for it, and it didn't work, and so
Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
business stuff, you know. So,
I remember back in the 70s when we got our own gas tank, you know, set it there at the house, you know.
mhm.
This, you know, big old thing, had it up about 8 foot off the ground, and you know, they'd come by and fill the tank up, and it really helped out when all the country was going from even to odd license tag numbers, license plate numbers.
Yeah.
You didn't have to sit in the line and wait to get your gas, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we have it just for diesel, for the big rig. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, do y'all got tractors though, right?
Yeah, we can use our tractor with it. We've got Mabel, our green tractor, Mabel.
Mabel, that's right, Mabel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's a working horse.
So what are y'all's goals for this year on your property? Do you have any? Do y'all have things that you want to get done this year? What's the drive?
We want to deal with the erosion. We're waiting for some help from the farm people on that. Pigs this year, and growing as much of our meat as possible. One of the issues is that we don't like what, you know, we're hearing about Tyson and some of those other places. So we really don't want to ever buy meat from a store again. That's kind of where we're at with that. I don't know if you know what's going on with them, but just hearing and you know, we living rurally, you go by one of those chicken farms and you see how they're treated. That's how we kind of started. We started during the pandemic, but we also started growing our own food and realizing how chickens were raised outside of the system, you know, or in the system that we were eating. And we're like, oh, that's not very nice. We love our animals too. And a lot of people are like, well, if you love your animals, how can you kill them? You know, it's like, well, we do a kosher kill and we give that animal their best life while they're here, you know, and that's what you do is, you know, you want to, like, we're not going to tie our pigs up in a pen and just leave them there. We're going to move them around on pasture and let them be pigs. You know, the most organic pig meat that you can buy nowadays, they're still raised inside in a very sterile situation so that, you know, so they don't get pests and they don't get this and they, you know, but they can't be pigs. They're not pigs enjoying pig life and eating pig stuff, you know. That's I guess our main goal is self-sustaining meat. And we started that, you know, we've been processing our own chicken for about 4 years now. And then last year we did deer and now pigs. And then the next thing will be beef. But just improving the land is going to be an every year thing. And that's part of the pigs is improving the land too. Stirring up that soil so that we can get some good things for, you know, the cattle that we want to bring in, and just getting a good system, you know, and a good biology in the system. So planting some more of these acorns. We have acorn We have walnut on the property, um, and stuff like that. So those are things that we'd be collecting too to feed our pigs and our chickens, and sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
And those are our goals. So
Well, on 130 acres, you have enough room to do succession planting and growing of your own great hardwood. You know, you
mhm.
just keep it going. Harvest a little bit when you need to, and always be growing. Being like nature squirrels and planting more behind them. You
Yeah,
know, um, and it's, well, I don't have to tell you. Y'all bought a truck with your lumber, with your
right.
trees. That's good stuff.
And
Very good stuff.
even opening up those forests is getting. We've noticed this year we have a lot more flowering trees in the middle of our forest that weren't there last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we're noticing. Oh, look at that um, walnut tree is getting so much bigger, and just we harvested some walnut, but the other walnut that was growing right next to it is now taking off, and stuff like that. So um, just being good stewards of the land overall and making sure that we're taking care of our land.
Yeah.
Um, so
This is
yeah,
not really ours. It's
no,
it's not our land. It's ours for a little while.
right.
You know, we can't take it with us, and temporarily speaking, yes, it's ours. We control it. Um,
But
and
it's an honor to control it and
exactly,
mhm.
let's take what was left and hold it in our hands and make it better, and offer the next generations a gift. That's
Yes.
the thing. And when we do that, when we're taking part in that kind of a ethos, and that's our mindset, then we're part of a wonderful thing. It's a force of good against the evil. Um,
Mhm.
to put it simply, um, it's our highest calling. It
Yes.
really is.
Yes.
Leave things better than you found it. To leave the world a better place in the wake of your traveling.
There was a
Um,
reason why Adam and Eve were put in a food forest, basically.
exactly.
hmm
And watch who your wife's talking to. Keep
hmm
your eyes on your wife. You're going to get kicked out, right? You're going to be, because she's over there, eating weird fruit you ain't supposed to eat, and
hmm
things get rough.
Right.
So,
Right.
but we have to manage things. You know.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Especially if we don't want to eat bugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, yes, that's the whole bug thing, and they're forcing us in every way. They can't do it all at once. It's like trimming, just a little getting it around the sides. Little,
hmm
we're gonna keep encroaching. We're gonna keep
Yeah.
infringing on rights a
And if you
little
look
at a
at it like how they do it in Oregon, we're gonna say it's the water. The water, even though you have a well, isn't really yours. It belongs to the state of Oregon.
time. Hmm.
So, I'm so glad that we almost got a farm there, and we decided not to because being working with the government as a foster parent, you kind of knew how it was run. Um, and what they demanded of people.
Yeah,
And no matter what your belief is, you have to be this way. And so it's just very interesting that, they're putting monitors on people's wells. They shut down a homestead there um, because she had 3 cows, but because she would milk her cows on a cemented area, the water wasn't protected for some reason. They're putting demands on these small, tiny farmers that are only farming for themselves and their family, as like the massive growers or the massive people would be. And so they've shut down several farms there, and so I'm glad I wasn't there. We were doing small, tiny little homestead. I worry about my sister who's homesteading basically, and what's going to happen when they say you got chickens, geese, and turkeys, and that's she's in the city, so that's what her meat system is, and so
Y'all made the right choice.
Yeah.
If I were, and it's so sad too, because the left coast over there, there's some beautiful, wonderful land. There's lots of wonderful people, but
it's a beautiful place to grow.
It's caught up in the politics and the progressive, human crushing politics. We're in a state of being now in our world where, okay, the rain doesn't fall out of the sky free from God. The air is not free. We want to tax everybody. We need the government is growing, right? So we need to feed it.
Yes.
The government is like an animal. It's got its individual organs that keep it going. It's got its limbs. It's got its things it's doing. And it needs to feed itself to keep all those individual organs and cells happy.
And it can't feed itself if you're sustainable.
That's right. That's right.
So
it needs people in the system. It needs more people in more systems.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you'll get your clean air bill coming in the mail.
Yeah. Well, we should charge them for growing our vegetables, even though they say it's the other way around. That we're putting carbons in the air through growing our vegetables, which I don't know if you guys have heard about that, where they're saying that that growing a garden is not good for the environment.
That's right. They've kind of backed off of that. So they're like, wait, what did y'all say? Okay, so yeah, growing your own food is bad, and we're destroying the planet.
Right.
Yeah, no. And like some things are so ridiculous, they're getting pushed back. Right.
In fact, they should be supporting the small farmer that puts less manure out than in a smaller area than a large manure load.
Exactly.
In a big area.
Yeah. So, what about the sod farms out there in Oregon? These massive sod farms where they're growing every kind of grass that you can think of to put down in a suburban landscape.
Yeah.
Are they going to go on restriction for water?
I don't know, but they're literally anybody that has like a cement pad and that they put their animals on a cement pad. They are monitoring small growers. I haven't heard anything about the larger growers, but they are monitoring like the small growers. If they have a well, they put a what are those little things that they can tell how much water you're using. You're not allowed to use over 5,000 gallons, which is a lot of water.
Yeah.
But it's just ridiculous. It's they basically they fly over and do that, and then they send them a statement in the mail saying cease and desist, of what you're doing. Because so what are you going to do? You're just going to kill your cattle and stop raising your cattle? Because So people are fighting it, but yeah, it's just crazy.
There's a saying is, don't bite the hand that feeds you unless it keeps you from feeding yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And they desperately want to keep us from feeding ourselves. Now, on the subject of water, right? That is where, I said it's very much in my spirit, right? That is
Yeah.
where natural gardening, the way nature does it, the way she does things, right? She grows trees, trees die, they fall, they become part of the soil.
Yeah.
The more wood and organic matter that you work into the soil, the more the water, when it falls, it gets locked up into the wood,
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes a sponge. And the plants that you grow send their roots down into that sponge and get the water when they need it.
Right.
Don't even have to have water flowing. It's there underneath the soil,
Right. Yeah, which makes a stronger plant because it's got a stronger root. Yeah.
That gets into, the hygge culture concept and a lot of things that are hygge like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's why in a lot of my beds I have wood in the bottom of my beds. Yeah.
When I walk across my property in many places, it's like a sponge. It's like walking on a soft sponge because I have buried so much wood underneath the ground, right, to do just that. And during the driest times, my property stays, moist and fertile, right? Fungally dominated, lots of mushrooms and stuff growing out there. Lots of bugs. I can stick my hand down there, scrape back a little of the topsoil, and instantly I'm into rotting wood and all the little bugs. It's a feast for termites. Termites are wonderful. They go in and make quick work of the wood and make it readily available for all the fungus to come in and shoot through the wood. And it's doing things that way, to me, is what makes the very most sense. Nature is doing it for you.
Yes.
Instead of the neo-traditional way, where we where we plow up everything and you cultivate everything, add a bunch of chemicals to it, you put your seeds in, and then it's kind of dead, right?
Yeah.
You're interrupting everything that nature is trying to do on a huge scale. And then a lot of times it becomes bacterially dominated, and it's nowhere near as fertile, and it becomes compacted. I'm the neighbor that people hate if they hate dandelions, because I love to encourage dandelions everywhere, which is a remarkable food source in itself.
Right. I was so excited. We're starting to get dandelions here.
There you go.
I was so excited. I was like, yeah. And my husband's like, what? We have dandelions.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm like, that means that those things are going to get such big roots. And he goes, well, that's a problem. I'm like, no, it's not. That's God. That's God's way of healing the earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, they're a great food source.
Yes. I got one of my neighbors. He's over there all the time. All the time. I see him. He's got this little weed tool, and he's out there punching at his dandelions and uprooting and popping them up. Just guessing them just every time. Just popping them up and killing them. I was like, dude, leave them alone. you know. And the folks next to me have a bit of hippie in them, and they like the dandelions too, and all the other little things, you know. Like I said, I hate grass. It does have its place in limited ways for me, you know.
Yeah.
You know, who doesn't love some nice soft grass for their kids to play on, you know, or yourself, you know. So for me, I like to limit and the amount of grass that I've got, you know. But I've got a small place. My property is very small, and I just want to grow things here that's good for me to eat, or herbal uses, you know, spices and whatever. Most of all, I want nature to grow it for me, you know, while I do other things. My trees are producing me fruit. Got peaches out there. Got blackberries, peaches, strawberries, mulberries, elderberries. You know, pears. What else have I got? I've got a plum tree. You know, I used to have more fruit trees, but things have happened over the years, and I haven't replaced them. And of course, you know, when I started my channel, it was a challenge to myself. It was born of my first heart attack, right? And I'm sitting there, and it's like, okay, I used to be out here throwing logs around and dragging them around like a mule. I used to be digging like an armadillo and rolling boulders and all this stuff. And now suddenly I'm sidelined and I'm sort of fragile, right?
Yes.
Never been fragile before, right?
Doesn't feel good, does it?
No, it's not a good feeling at all. And I was like, well, what do I do now? You know, and I thought to myself, you know, I've been watching YouTube for a long time, and these people are doing the same things that I like to do. So maybe and I'm not young, you know,
No.
I'm not the oldest one on the planet, but I'm not young anymore. It's a crazy time to start a YouTube channel, but maybe I'll start a YouTube channel, see what happens. So that's why I started my channel.
Yeah.
Maybe make a little money, maybe, you know, have fun, have something to do, have purpose in life, and make a little money, have a little fun along the way, learn more, teach more, whatever.
Yeah.
That's why I do what I do, because just like Shed Wars, if somebody else is out there doing something, I see what they're doing, I can do it too. You know, I can do the same thing, and so can anybody else.
Right.
If they see somebody gardening, they can garden too.
Yes.
Maybe they're growing tomatoes in a container, and they see somebody doing that and say, well, I won't grow my own tomatoes in it. Boom, they can do it. Yeah. You see somebody else doing it, you can do it, you know. That's the whole purpose of what I'm about, you know, is to encourage people. That's what Shed Wars is. Yeah. You know, helping that happen.
Right. Right. Well, that's awesome. Why don't we end there? It's been 2 hours. we have covered a lot of stuff, and I'm so thankful to have you, Robert. I'll keep the chat open and invite people up if they want to come up. But I really have enjoyed this, and I really, knowing what I know about you, and I don't know that much, but what I've seen is that you have a great heart for other people, and that you really want to see people grow, and you really want to encourage them. And I think you are a real blessing to this community. And please don't get discouraged, and please keep keeping on, if you know what I mean. So
well, I appreciate that, and it's been my honor and privilege to be here, and I thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome.
You know, this has been fun. It's hard to believe it's been 2 hours. my talking parts are telling me, yes, sir, it has been 2 hours. You've been flapping your gums over here, man. My cheeks hurt, you know.
I appreciate it though. You are one of the easiest, persons to interview. Period, because you talk. So that's good. That's good. So.
Well, it's been fun. Thank you. You want me to get down, or you gonna have?
Oh, you don't have to get down. I can invite people up, or you can, if you have to go. I understand, but I wanted to make it available if you needed to go. Because people have lives. So.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna make me a cup of coffee. I'm gonna mute this thing and make me a cup of coffee while we're waiting to see if we get some folks up on panel.
Okay.
And, I do need to make some phone calls and do some things this afternoon. But
understand.
Yeah, let me make some coffee now.
Yep. So there's the link in the chat if anybody wants to come up. It's been a lot of fun having Robert up here and just getting to know him even more, which is a real blessing. So it doesn't have to be about gardening. It can be about anything. It could be about what's going on in the world. As long as we don't. Oh, my husband's home, so maybe I need to end it. So he's just arriving. So actually, I'll wait for Robert to come back. But
okay, I'm here. I hear what you got going on. Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's just coming home, which is good. He came home early today. So
cool.
I better go. Not that he cares that I'm on here, but it's just nice to greet him properly. And
yeah, there you go. That's a wonderful thing. You keep up with your good wifely duties and the ways that you're doing things. Okay, I like it. So anyhow, thank you for having me up. I'm going to jump down. Y'all be good out there, and let's go Shed Wars.
Yes. Shed Wars 2024. All right. God bless you guys. We'll see you. I will, Storm. Bye.